Good afternoon, YouTube. It's your man, Lloyd George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk. Sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I had a slip. It's a mistake I made. The Emperor of Female Boxing Talk. As you know, I usually do, I usually do my little thing on female bodybuilding, but um, I'm really, as you know, it's been kind of quiet. Some stuff going around, but nothing really is big. But I'm tonight, actually this evening, right now, in about maybe a good another half an hour, there's going to be a fight. And it's a fight that's going to happen in New York City, the New York, the city named so twice, at Madison Square Garden. They're having a big event, and that is Serrano, Amanda Wilder Serrano versus Erica Diamante Cruz. And this is for women's featherweight undisputed title for WBA. And I've talked about this, like I'm a big fan of Amanda Serrano. I've done content about her, made videos about her because, she's an amazing fighter. She's one of the few women who has held several different titles in several different fight classes and divisions. She's fought her, one of the biggest fight of last year was her and Katie Taylor's fight, was the biggest fight for women's boxing, but right next to Clarissa Shields and Savannah Marshall. Also on that undercard is the co-main event is Alycia, the Baumgardener versus Elam Macaled, from France. And these two women, this is, like I said, Alycia, she's been a strong competitor. Mostly she's been fighting out of the country. Her last three fights has been out of in I think up in the UK and another fight in Europe. And this is the first opportunity for her to fight here, in a big main event such as Madison Square Garden here in the United States. Now, this is for Amanda's gonna be her third time fighting in MSG. She fought when she won one of her earlier titles. She fought against her good friend Heather Hardy. And then it was, I think this is gonna be her fourth time actually. Then her fight against Katie Taylor. But but I have a question in my head. I'm thinking, I just want to share this because I try to talk about a lot of content, especially on women in the world of boxing. But truthfully, do you think after this fight, I feel most definitely that both of them, Alycia and Amanda, are gonna win their fight? Do you think and do you believe that possibly could there be a next big fight between these two ladies? Now, this is something I thought about, and both of them, they fight in featherweight. Now, Amanda, she's fought lightweight before, and with Alycia, she's fighting super featherweight. There's only like right now, in Amanda's case, she's fighting 126, while Alycia is fighting 130. That's just 4 pounds difference. So I'm wondering, was there possibly maybe they might, Alicia comes down and fight in featherweight, or Amanda go up and fight in super featherweight. Now she fights lightweight, so she can fight in super featherweight. I got a man Balls Deep coming through. Balls Deep says, smash that like button. Appreciate you, brother, for support. I know it's not bodybuilding, brother, because I know you're a big fan of bodybuilding, but this is about MMA. Now, it said again, they're having a fight coming up uh this evening. It's actually started at 4. And we are here is Amanda Rear Deer Serrano. And Amanda's very impressive. I mean, I think Balls even like it, because she has good muscle definition. I won't call it bodybuilder level, but still in good shape. She got great pectorials, good lines. I mean, she's not a bodybuilder per se, but if she ever think about it, she could do it. And Amanda has also done MMA. She's done some fights. She hasn't fought in maybe the last 4 or 5 years, but she's more right now. Her boxing career has really been going off, especially she hooked up with Jake Paul, and she has a great physique, nice body. Now her opponent, Erica Cruz, is a 2-time Mexican national champion, and her last opponent was against Jelena Marjanovic. If I got a name wrong, I want to apologize. And this is Puerto Rico versus Mexico. And, both are very Spanish ladies, the real deal versus Diamante. And this is a fight that I think people have been looking forward to. It's been a while. Like I said, this fight is going to be coming on. It's on the Zone, if you want to catch out the Zone. It's by Matchroom Production. That's Eddie Hearn's production company. And as you know, there's a lot of fights on here. It's like actually on this card, the most women fights in the history of any fight card, with 2 women leading the main card and the co-main event, and at least about 3 more women fights on the undercard. That's history. I mean, most times you might get, if you're lucky, 3 fights on a big fight card for women. At least 1. But you have 2 headlining the main card and the undercard, and it's for undisputed. But they already did the weigh-ins yesterday, and here, Amanda Serrano, she is serious. She's serious. She's looking. I mean, she's looking right through Erica Cruz. I think she's gonna beat her. How would it go? Decision or by unanimous, or maybe a knockout? Really, I think Amanda don't have many knockouts on her record. Maybe just a handful. And the same with Erica. But these both ladies are very impressive. Right here was when she fought her dear friend Heather Hardy on MSG. I mean, I think it was a tough fight for Heather Hardy. I mean, Heather Hardy was undefeated till this fight, and just she's getting battered. I mean, that thing about Amanda Serrano, she does head body. To me, fighters just want to just attack the head. She attacks the head and the body. Meaning, she tries to take you to, she breaks you down, and that's a good sign of a good fighter. Where you combined both, you just don't just exclusively attack, just the head. You attack the body. Now, her fight against Katie Taylor is seen as one of the biggest fights in women's boxing last year, and those 2 went to a war. And I truthfully believe this guy agreed with me too. Let's see what he says.
And hands down, don't care what nobody got to say. If you was there, then you know. If you watched it, then you know. There's no denying it that Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano is 2022's fight of the year. It's 2022's event of the year. There was nothing like it. Look around. Check out the video. I wish that you can hear it. But you got to listen to me, and you got to believe me when I tell you that there was nothing better than that fight this year. Those ladies put it all on the line, and they let it go until the final bell, in which you couldn't even hear the bell ring. At the end of plenty of those rounds, they kept swinging. They kept going. The fans were entertained. Puerto Rico, Ireland, Madison Square Garden was jam-packed, and I haven't seen shit like that since Miguel Cotto. Salute to the ladies. Right? Yeah, I'm going to let y'all know once again before the year's over. It's your boy Fight.
I have to agree with him. That was, I think, probably one of the best fights in for the women's boxing. I think, it might be the best fight with, Serrano and with Shields and Savannah being second. But the debate is some people say, yeah, Katie Taylor won. I give it aspect, but the fact was it was too close. And I feel like, I think Amanda put on a better performance. Yeah, she has a little cut here, but Katie Taylor was really more busted up. This was like, and this cut was from the end of the fight. You know, I'm trying to find, they probably posted someplace on here, you know, but like I said, it was a close fight. Now, like I said, one person also I'm become a fan of, Alycia Baumgardener. And Alycia, about her, she has a great look. She's only 27 years old, meaning she's still young. She's still developing as a fighter. I think she has a good ways to go, and that's the advantage. The advantage of youth, you know, is one thing for a lot of fighters. They have that, that being younger is you have, you have that energy to keep on going because with Amanda is in her early 30s, and she's been fighting for I would say nearly 20 years, and so it's getting really tough. She's facing some tough opponents. I think other than her fight with Katie Taylor was probably one of the toughest opponents of her career, and she lost that fight, but I still feel like she won. But Alycia, she's young. She has a great style about her. She's very entertaining. You know, she really promotes herself. She's originally from Detroit, and so some pictures she posted on her IG. This is one where she's at her weigh-in. And I am a lover of my sister, especially in combat sports. And to say, she has a bad body. I mean, she's cute, she's attractive, got a bad body. I think she can do good if, like I said, just with the right fights. She had that big war with Michaela Mayer, if I don't want to say the name right. And, she has a great look to her about. I think she's of mixed descent. Her father's black. Her mother, I think, is Asian. They came up, kind of, struggling, a little poor. And she got into boxing, I think, in her early 20s, you know, and she found a passion for it. She has a record is pretty good. I'm sure has one loss on the record with already 15 wins, you know, and I think she has at least 2 or 3 knockouts, you know, and she has a passion for the sport, you know. And like I said, I think this, I think she can really, I think she's gonna go. I think she's gonna beat. Honestly, I believe she's gonna beat Elam. This is me. Maybe I'm showing favoritism, being biased because she's a black fighter. But that's it's always gonna be. As you know, if you're a fan of a fighter, especially if they're a fighter of your complexion, you're gonna support them. And she really you're getting up and facing the girl's face. Nose to nose. And like I said, she's pretty. You know, she's a good fighter. She's attractive. She kind of, that's the thing that sells. And she has a great physique. Look at those biceps, guys. I mean, I know you guys look at the biceps on her. I mean, muscles don't mean anything, but the fact is, if she can back her fighting skills with her muscles, that's pretty good. Here's her. Was this a fight she had against? I think this her fight against Terry Harper. That was the fight where she hit Harper. Harper was like, she was like standing. She was standing. She was knocked out. And look, what? Bam! And she just, you know, she, she was like, she just stunned. And there's nothing she can do. See again? She's like, she didn't fall. She was knocked out cold on her feet. And so this happened 441 days ago. I became world champion. In 6 days, I've come undisputed. And she was like, yeah, you're supposed to go because, like I said, what's the referee tell you? Protect yourself at all times. Here she is right now. I think she's going to do a little talking. Wait a minute.
Y'all, we are in New York City. What is this building called? The Edge. The Hudson Yards. The Hudson Yards, y'all. Look at this.
And when is that? Fuck.
Where you guys come from? What's normal?
Well, we just came from Detroit, but I'm from Florida.
Today's a lucky
Right?
You don't know what cold is, right?
Nah, hell no.
Christmas.
I'm not mad.
What? Over with. Make sure y'all tune in this Saturday. Make sure you download the app, okay? So you can watch me become undisputed. We have 2 undisputed fights. Me and Amanda fighting at MSG. So thankful, so blessed. Make sure you get the merch. My link is in the bio. So, yes.
Like I said, folks, this woman, she is serious about her fighting game. I mean, and this fight, I think, is a pretty, a big fight for her next to a fight against Michaela Mayer, and like I said, and she is beautiful. I mean, she's fighting a good bit overseas. And the debate was that people say she didn't beat Michaela Mayer, but what she did was she had better footwork, better body work. Michaela Mayer, she has no real footwork. She's used too much to relies on power, and and she pulled out, I think, a true victory. She should be proud of herself. I hear this is the scene where you don't really. This is where I don't have a lot of respect for Michaela Mayer. She walked out. I mean, it's okay. You lost. Yeah. Okay. But still. You got to accept the loss. You lost. You didn't do enough to win. But I've seen some fighters. I can say some fighters. We lost. You want to walk away. You shake your head. You can't disappoint it. But she actually, at one point, she just walked out of the ring. Michaela Mayer did that. She walked out of the ring, and and a fighter should understand that. Hey, if you lose, you lose. That's the game of fighting. You're not always going to win. Sometimes you're going to lose. And Michaela, she was winning a good while. And was undefeated till she lost to Alycia. But the thing is, would this be a great fight? Like actually, Katie. I'm sorry, Amanda wants a shot back at Katie Taylor, and there was talk about that fight going to Ireland. But because the expense of it costs too much, and because if it's like I said, if it's not no guys fighting on it as the main card, if it's just exclusively just Katie, like I say, if Katie and Amanda have the is the main card, most promoters, most organizations will not take it because the fact is there's no real money out of it for it. So it would be better if they either probably be part of a big fight, like something like Joshua versus Dante Wilder, and maybe be like the undercard, meaning they're like the fourth or fifth fight in the line. And I think that'd be, I don't know, Kate Taylor, I don't know, either one would want that after having one of the biggest fights in their careers and be dropped down to maybe third or fourth on the undercard, But the thing is, we all know that boxing is always going to be, boxing is like bodybuilding. The people that bring in the money is always going to be the men, and the men in boxing are the bottom bitches, while the females are just struggling. Like the fighter or that Alicia's fighting, Elam Mekalet. This chick has a full-time job. Here's the thing: is you have a full-time job. You shouldn't have a full-time job. You're a fighter. That's your full-time job. But the fact is, she's in France, and she'll make as much money. Even if she goes to other countries, she'll make as much money. That's why most boxers, like men boxers, they don't have a job. All the job is fighting. They don't really do anything else but fight. They sit off for maybe the next 3 or 4 months until they get a call for another fight, and they start their fight camp, and then they have to fight. Sometimes some boxers fight maybe twice a year, because you got to also boxing, like just like MMA has concussion protocols. You don't want to risk the health and the life of a fighter, especially go back and fight in the next day. Especially in boxing, that you have that 3 count, you get knocked out, you get knocked down, you get back up. Like the MMA, where you get knocked down, they don't give you a standing 8 count. The fight's over because you suffered a concussion. Even though you got knocked down for a minute, you did suffer a concussion. Now, would this be a good fight between Alycia and Amanda down the road? Like I said again, right now Amanda's fighting at 126, Alicia's fighting at 130. That's featherweight versus super featherweight. So, either way, they could still go. I think, Alycia can go up to, Alycia can probably go down to featherweight. And as you know, as I said before, Amanda has been fighting in several different weight classes. She can go to 130. So, like I said, the great question is if their rematches don't happen. I think, like I said, the one thing is that with the with Alicia's rematch against Michaela, I don't know, they might have getting states, but it's going to be like maybe the 6th or 5th fight on a main card for a men's fight. It probably be, or it might be like the fight before everything's fight. It might be the first fight or the second fight, because even though they put on a good performance over in England, you know how it is with boxing. They won't give them as much a chance as whatever was men's fight. They might, like I said, it'll be like this. Even though they're the top women in boxing, still the third or fourth class male boxer would do better than a woman's boxer. Somebody who's like, I don't know, like I said, I don't follow men's boxing like that anymore like I used to. Whoever's like, who there'll be guys who don't even have a title, who just has a record, who are more well known than someone like, Christian Shields or Amanda Serrano or Katie Taylor or Daphne Passoon or Christina Hammer or any other women who hold championships. Amanda holds 7 champions. She has 7 titles. And there's a guy who probably only has 1 or 2 titles that gets paid more than her. Because, in fact, he's a man. Now, Jake Paul is doing pretty good for her because, Amanda had done at least, I think, 3 fights last year. Counting, I think she had a fight before Katie Taylor fight, and the last fight she had was with Sarah Mahfoud. She was pretty busy, more busy than any fighter, even more busy than Clarissa Shields. I think last year Clarissa Shields only had the fight was 1 fight first of the year, and then she had a fight with Savannah Marshall. But the thing is, like, people don't want to see women boxing. Women boxing is like any other female sport, like basketball, what else? Soccer. These ladies don't get as much money. I saw a thing where one of the ladies who sent me a thing which there's a big pay disparity. Women's soccer might make over $100 million, while men's soccer makes billions of dollars. Women would get 20% out of that cut of that over 100 billion, while men would get 7% out of that cut of a billion. There is billions in singles, but million, it's not much. By the time 20% out of maybe 160 million of the profits, while guys get 7% out of maybe 7 or 8 million out of the profits in soccer. That's a good chunk of change. But it's just, folks, give me a second here. I'll be right back. Sorry, folks, I'm back. I just had to take care of something real quick. But as I say it again, with women's boxing, it's not going to make the money. I remember one of my favorite fighters, and Brown Sugar Wolf. How she said, "Ooh, sorry." When she one of her fights, she had a fight. They paid her $1 because it was on the contract. You had to put something in the contract. So it was $1. I think she got paid more, but that was $1 put on the contract. And she said like this: men, they fight with their hearts on their sleeves. See how she said, men fight, like they're making love, and women fight, with their heart on their sleeves. And I've seen some women fights that where it went better than some men's fights. Most times, the guys will do a lot of clinching. Sometimes I see fights where women are going back and forth, throwing blows. Now the fight between Katie and Amanda, that was a pretty good fight. And truthfully, I believe, man, I said again, Amanda won that fight. Katie Taylor, she did a lot more clinching and holding in the middle rounds. And I mean, if this was like, if they had that extra minute, like in men's boxing, that extra minute, I think I agree, I would believe that Amanda Serrano would knock out Katie Taylor. Katie Taylor, like she was drowning there. Her legs were sticky. She held on, she held on. But if she there's that extra minute, just that extra minute, because sometimes there's some women's fights I've seen. If they had an extra minute, what made a difference between a knockout or a decision. But it has the ideology women's stamina's not better compared to men. Women have better stamina than men. They do. You know, even if you look at women in MMA, they fight 3 to 5 rounds, 5 minutes. That's 5 minutes. So you can't tell me a woman can't do an extra minute. And this is some organization somewhere out of the country, they have let women fight 3 minutes. Like I said, that could be a difference between a knockout or a decision. If you see an opponent he's struggling, she's trying to make it. That extra minute can make a difference. But I don't know why they don't do it. I think there should be more. Somebody should campaign. It's been women who want to campaign for that extra minute. Because by 2 minutes is not enough. By the time you start swinging, by the time you get in the minute, and then it starts getting real hot. By the time you get good and hot and really, dropping the punches, then it's over. Then you got to come back again, and then it's like those that 2 minutes, those 10-minute rounds, is kind of just you have to really do as much you can in 2 minutes. But that extra minute does sometimes makes a difference. But like I said again, would this be a great fight in the future? We right now, this is the first big major women's fight for this year. Usually they may have maybe 2 or 3 in a year. So right now we're waiting to see what. There's no Clarissa Shields. She says she's working with her BJJ. She's planning to maybe make another run at PFL after her last fight she lost. There's possibly maybe a rematch between her and her Savannah Marshalls. That's up in the air. They might have to do it back in England because they may not do it in the States. We don't know. Still waiting on, as I said again, on if they ever get things clear between Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano for their rematch. And then Michaela Mayer and Alycia Baumgardener's rematch. Or also, I saw if you've ever been on my channel, I posted a video where it's Frenson DeZone, Frenson DeZone Cruz and Christina Hammer talking. And it's been a while since I think Christina Hammer. I think it's been like 2-3 years since Christina Hammer's fought. I mean, she probably fought some fights, but I didn't know about him because of the fact that he doesn't fight much in the United States. They were talking about doing a fight in 2023. So maybe they may have a fight, but you've got to have enough people interested in that fight. Promoters, and I said again, any women's fight has to be like way on the bottom of an undercard for a men's bout. It's not going to be as get as much attention because most of the big promoters don't want to promote women's boxing. I think the only person that's really promoting women's boxing is somebody like Eddie Hearn, who has somebody like Katie Taylor as a client, Jake Paul, who has somebody like Amanda Serrano. None of the guys like forget about what's his face, Bob Arum. He's not a big fan. Forget about what's the face, Al Heyman. Those guys are old school guys, and neither one of those are a fan of women's boxing. But it's these next generation guys. And those are the guys who are supporting women's boxing right now. You know, people say that those are guys and women fighting each other. You know, something like I don't know. Like I said, those fights are probably a possibility. And then, so like I said, Baumgarten versus Serrano, that would be a good fight. You know, that'd be something that I think somebody would love to see. You know, these two ladies go against each other. You know, and they compete. They can either go. You know, like I said, you know, most definitely, I know Amanda probably go over to 130 and fight super featherweight. And you know, I know Alycia can come down to 126 to fight in featherweight. Either way they go, they got to decide which title they want to put up, or either all the titles, one title, which one. You know, because you know, I think with Amanda, she has at least two WBO, IFBA, something like that. And I think same thing about Alycia. You know, they have multiple titles, so they can pick which title they want to fight for and which one title they want to defend. You know, that's about negotiation. So whoever manages Alycia Baumgardener, whoever you know, you know, Amanda Serrano's manager, so they should sit down and try to break it out. I mean, let's have it maybe by maybe after or before Memorial Day. That Memorial Day weekend. You know, it's Easter, but you want to give them a good long time for a good fight camp after this fight. This fight happens in the middle of February, so you got March, you got April, so maybe right about I would say right about June. You know, right around June probably good. You know, that'll give them some time to put up a good fight camp, and maybe you can also if it can find or if it can, you know, if they can negotiate the fight between Joshua and Wilder, you know, because we all know Apple Juice, Anthony Joshua, he don't want to fight Dante. Why? He's scared of Dante. Even though Dante, he took the back-to-back losses to Tyson Fury, he doesn't want to fight Dante Wilder. He wants to dodge, you know, because he's scared. So, but you know, if that's possible, Andy Hearn being, you know, the manager of of Anthony Joshua, he would probably want to set a fight between Joshua, you know, and he won't do it, but he probably will try to fit a fight. If he does, then you can put Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano on that card, you know, or if he's a promoter, he can put if you say Katie Taylor might fight somebody else. Why not Katie Taylor fights? See, I don't know who's she fights lightweight, so why not Katie Taylor fights Cecilia Brækhus, or she can have a rematch with Jessica Jessica what's her face? Fight her. They fought before. They have a rematch. Or like I said, she can fight Cecilia Brækhus. I think that'd be an interesting fight. It's Brækhus versus Katie Taylor. So I think because she they could set it up if they want. But it's all about how much money someone can make. It's about the what they can bring in. Now the men's fight will bring in the money, and people will watch the women's fight just because they watch the men's fight. So you do this. You do this. You have two men's fights as a main event, and then you put two women's fight in between those fights. Like you can put you want the rematch between Shields. You can say the rematch between Taylor and Serrano. It'll be after the main event, the co-main event of the fight between Joshua and Wilder, and then you put maybe Mayer and Baumgartner right after that, and then you put two guys two fights that guys who are coming up right there before them. So people have no choice but to watch that fight. But it was a great fight to watch. But folks, like I said, I don't follow boxing that much like I used to. I just see fights that possibly could happen. Like I do content on MMA, and I just saw This I might talk with my partner, my man X23. I might ask him if he wants to do a live. We might talk about that tomorrow. Or see, I got an interview tomorrow. Ooh, we'll figure it out. But right here, I'm talking about, as you saw, you follow our Facebook page, which is the WMMAC, which is the Women's Lions Den, women's mixed martial arts community, and a couple of things have happened. One fight is we're not sure it's going to happen is Chelsea Chandler versus Daniel Wolf. That fight counts because Daniel Wolf has a dropout. That was a waste of contract. Should get a contract to Tanisha Tennant. That was a waste of space. That was a waste of Wolf. That was a waste. You got a fighter who only fought one fight. She lost and just had two fights and couldn't make them. I mean, and she's nearly 40 years old. It's too late for her. She's done. Amateur fighter is a boxer. Didn't deserve it to a pro, but she's done. I would say I just saw PFL. They had their tournament this last night, and they argued a contract to one woman. What they did was, I'm gonna talk about this later, but they didn't give her. They didn't. She was given a contract because they voted on her instead of just okay. The four last remaining fighters fight for the contract, and then kind of like with how Invicta does with the Phoenix series. They have that series. We have one fight for one fight. We the winner's gonna win by decision or win by knockout. Then they have the next semifinal. Then have the finals, and then the finals go for 3 rounds. And how, like I saw with Jessica Debone, how she fought for the opportunity to fight Alycia Zapatella again, and how the last girl, she won the what's the Phoenix series? She won the title. I was trying to remember, but yeah, they had the Phoenix series. That's how Tanisha Tennant got her title, in the Phoenix series. So instead of just having a vote between who's going to get the title shot, the last 4 fighters, they vote for 2 out of the 4, and then the last 2, and the 2 that was left, one that got the vote. That was Amanda Levy. So congratulations, Amanda Levy. This thing is UFC, especially they hear about Dana Wife beater. Some of these fighters may not have been contracted by the PFL. Maybe this is one fight they was offered, and that was it. You could recruit some of these fighters. If they're not contracted in PFL, they're free agents. You could reach out to them, and maybe you can grow the 145 division. You have fighters right now who don't have a organization, or some of these fighters can go over to Invicta. As you know, the Invicta 145 title is vacated. Because it was almost, I would say, about 2 years since Pam Bam Sorderson vacated it. And the thing was, there's a chance that Chelsea Chandler was going to fight for that title, but now she's in the UFC now. And then you got Ramona Pasquela, who's got dropped by the UFC. She might go back to Invicta because she needs time to stew before she moved on to the UFC. They should give her time to stew. Maybe fight for the 145 title, get the title, and then maybe after her first defense, pull up the UFC. But they want us so bad because they want an Asian market. But that's something we'll probably talk about with my partner on MMA Talk. It's been a while. My man X23, we'll talk about this. It's something that needs to be speaked on. And also saw that Alondra Laura, her opponent came in 3 pounds over the weight limit because it's 125. They only give you a 1 pound allowance, so she was 2 pounds over at 128. This is why I keep saying UFC. No, that's just UFC. All these fight promoters should give women a cage, like a catch weight contract. So if they feel like they come up maybe, let's say, 2 or 3 pounds over the weight limit, they say, hey, you have a catch weight cross. So that means all that means is just that if that opponent wants to fight you at those 2 or 3 pounds extra, then they have 2 or 3 pounds. Not that much. It's not like it's like way a lot of weight. I remember somebody told us, oh, you can hydrate later, meaning that she just drinks some water, get some food in her, and put on a little bit of weight. Not much weight, but just a little bit, enough to get her, get herself up so she won't faint. So, but it's just one of the things about mixed martial arts. It's a mess. They got realize women are chemically and biologically different from men. Especially this opponent, I think her name Agapova or something like that. I forgot her name. She's Russian or something like that. she's still young. She's in her maybe her early to mid 20s. And that's the years when you're still a woman, you're still developing. You also you have your menstruation. That just affects women's body chemistry, and they're still having the periods. You can put on weight. I know some female bodybuilders told me that even before a show, they were at their, they check their weight, they fall like that, but then something happens because your women's body chemistry, you store in fat, and that fat was like, if you try to lose weight, and then sometimes your body, what it does, it feels like your body's starving. When it senses your body's starving, it will produce fat out of nowhere because you have it stored in you. It'll just produce it because it's a way for survival. If you're out in the middle of the desert, you feel like your body will try to save itself automatically. So it could have been because she starved herself trying to make weight. Her body just kicked in, and whatever fat she had stored in it, it came out because she was starving herself. You get healthy ways to cut weight for a fight. It's healthier ways. If I'm, some fighters, heavyweights take a lot longer. But it's better that way. You should be like, if you're a fighter, you should be constantly on a diet. Stay eating clean. Then you want to eat something after the fight. Give yourself a little cheat meal. Have a cheat meal every now and then. That's what bodybuilders do. But the thing with these fighters in mixed martial arts, they need to find, like people like Valentina Shevchenko. Valentina, she likes to eat. She loves to eat. But she knows when even if she's not fighting, she tries to eat healthy, clean, and also not too much. She don't try to overindulge. And when she does, she gets back in the gym, she works out, she burns it off. Too many, especially American fighters, they don't want to do that. They want to, after a fight, you like somebody like Patty Pimplepuss. He gets out, he gorges himself. He gets fat. He don't, like I say, you should always, just in case you get a call, somebody say, hey, you got a fighter that dropped out. They got sick, they got injured, like that. Hey, you think you're ready? Yeah, I'm ready. I'm just like I said, just need to drop about 6-7 pounds to make weight. And that's about it. I can do that within a month. If it's not too close, at least a month in advance. So they say all they had to do is just drop, I would say a healthy 5 or 6 pounds without killing themselves or starving themselves. That should be a guideline. If you have a fight set in a month and the fighter drops out before that month, then call a fighter and say you want to bring him in. But this is what you do. Those women who just did that tournament for PFL, those ladies, they're in condition. All you got to do is pick the one you want for them to fight Chelsea and bring her in and give her a contract. But here's the thing about what Dana White's afraid to do. He's afraid of making this division of 145 a real division if he brings in more women. Or push up women from 135 who should be 145, like Macy Chazon, Yana Kuliskaya. Even Holly Holm was old behind. She can't. I know she makes 135, but she's 41 years old, and it's hard for a woman. Even though, hey, Holly has a great physique, she has a great body, she stays in good shape. It gets harder when you get closer and closer to 50 to try to stay healthy and try to keep your weight down. It gets harder because your metabolism slows down. I should know. I battered my metabolism. Me for overeating too much like that. I battered my metabolism. That was my fault. I should be a little smarter, but I indulged too much. But like I said, folks, this was just something I want to talk about. The idea of maybe, possibly in the future, could we see Amanda Rita Serrano versus Alycia the Baumgardener? They, like I said, they both fighting featherweight. Alycia is fighting at super featherweight. She's already the fight's probably start probably about the fight. The whole card already started at 4:00 this afternoon, but their main fight probably won't be till about 8 or 9, because usually a fight goes. If you have the men's fights, they're gonna, depending if they'll get a knockout, they'll go the distance 10 to 12 rounds. That's 2 minutes. That's almost nearly almost half an hour to 40 minutes. And then the women's fight's gonna, most of the time those fights go to distance. You rarely you might get a stoppage or a knockout, but it's not as often. So that fight's gonna go to distance. So that's gonna be another 2 minutes for every 10 rounds. So that's gonna be almost half an hour to 25 to 30 minutes. So their fight probably won't be till about 8, maybe 9 o'clock, this evening. Possibly. I'm just saying. To start forward, so yeah, I mean, because you got to do all the stuff, the breaks between, the rings like that, a lot of stuff. But folks, this is a fight I just think about. It's possible in the future. it's all about, if, like I say, especially Jake's still promoting and managing uh, Amanda. It's a possibility. I don't know who's the person who promotes and manages Alycia Baumgardener, but if Jake's the Catholic dude and he sees the opportunity, especially for his fighter, to get more screen time, more fight time, make some money, he'll probably reach out to Alicia's camp and see, hey, saw your fight, great fight. How about, I know you're waiting on the Kato Taylor fight. I don't know if that's going to happen because you know how Eddie Hearn is, because, Jake's been dealing with Eddie Hearn for a long time since he got with Amanda Serrano. I don't know if how he's going to drag his feet, but hey, how about we make a super fight between you two? So pick which side you want to pick. We say, like, because with this fight with her and Erica Cruz, it's a mandatory fight. It's because the WBA wants this fight to happen. It's mandatory. Erica Cruz has defended her title. She had defended the title since she beat Julia Medovich, and that's all the way back in 2021. So it's time for her to defend her title. And and like I said, it has to be someone like they probably reach out to somebody else. They might have, hell, they could have reached out to Alycia Baumgardener. This could have been Alycia Baumgardener fighting Erica Cruz. But I think Alycia fights at a higher weight class, but they could, like I said, Amanda could have fought Alycia Baumgardener in a high weight class. Because, like I said, Amanda has fought in these several different divisions as a boxer. She has owned several titles. She fight lightweight, heavy, featherweight. I think she fought is welterweight. I don't know, welterweight. I'm not sure. Welterweight's like above lightweight. But I think she mostly fought a lot in the featherweight division and some in the lightweight division. It's like I said, boxing has so many weight classes compared to MMA. Way more weight classes, the MMA. That's the thing. That's what it is with MMA. You won't have men's. You have the featherweight. You have light. You have fly, feather, welter, light, middle, light, heavy, and heavyweight. Where in boxing you have at least 20 or 30 weight classes and divisions. And that's gonna be confusing. It can be confusing, but it's possible. Now, these two ladies might fight in the future. If not fight this year, maybe next year in 2024. It's all depending on where they're going to fight. Would there be a main event? Would there be a co-main event? Or would there be like somewhere down after the in the middle somewhere of a fight card? It's all dependent. If you get the right person, the right promoter, to put money behind it. But this is just something I thought about. I just wanted to share with y'all. I just came on, like I said, I want to, just keep busy on my live every now and then. And also help shoot me up to monetization. I think I am monetized. I don't know if I'm ready to be monetized yet. I thought YouTube was seeing your thing actually tell you that you're ready to be monetized. They're probably sending a letter or something like that. I don't know. You have to have so many, like, I think over 4,000 watch hours. I know my man Underrated Darkest, he lost his because when he somehow blocked him out of his old YouTube channel, he lost all his monetization. My man XA lost his because the mess they did, so he's trying to bring up his back his 44,000 watch time hours. I gotta watch out for my channel too, because they're people like to try to jump on your channel, fuck you up. Excuse my language. But my channel is more about basically, but you know how it is. I mean, I've been blessed, but you know what happened to my IG? I gotta be careful. I just, people out there, there's some people do stupid shit for no clear reason, just to do it for it. And whether it's my man XA and my man Underrated, that's unfair. But I'm just, I don't know. Maybe because I don't know. But anyway, folks, this is something I thought about. Share this if you are someone who's genuine fan of boxing or just combat sports. This is a fight that could possibly happen in the future. Alycia Baumgardener versus Amanda Serrano. I mean, and maybe we get to see it. Maybe not on the Zone, because what I hear about the Zone is bad. Maybe something like a HBO. HBO don't do boxing anymore. Showtime, I think, still does boxing. Or hey, ESPN. I think ESPN really has win boxing anymore. I don't watch ESPN much like that anymore. Every now and then when the UFC has something, because it's free. I don't have to pay Dana White no money to watch any of his fights. That's free. When it's on ESPN, it's free. Or ABC, it's free. Dana White not getting $1 from me. Dana White beater. But like I said, this is a fight that's possible could happen in the future. We might see it, if it's not this year or maybe next year. It's all about negotiation, about money. If it's going to be a main card fight, or maybe something like a fight down the line of a main card. Something to think about. So anyway, folks, I appreciate you for listening to me for a minute. And I got some stuff I got to work on. I got things I got to do, and I got an interview coming up tomorrow. Go check out the interview. I gotta post my video where I post up when I announce my interview. I should have did it earlier. My phone needed to charge it. I was working on some other stuff and just forgot about it. But I got to post it this afternoon and put it up. And I hope y'all catch me tomorrow. I interview the lovely Miss Tony McMurtry. I got a name right. If I got a name right, she'll correct me. And come check us out. It's gonna be 8 o'clock. Nothing's going on. There's no there's no football, because Super Bowl's not till next week. I know you guys got time. There's no football. I don't know if they had Pro Bowl. I don't know. Pro Bowl used to come on before Super Bowl the last couple of years, but I think they might push it back after Super Bowl. I don't know. It's a mess. But anyway, folks, I'd like to thank you for coming through and listen to me. My man, Balls Deep. Share, like, comment, subscribe to my channel. Support these women in boxing, just like you much you support these women in bodybuilding. These women just work as hard, and in a sport where they're getting hit, knocked around, and not getting much money. It's just. Women's boxing is just, like I say, with that lady who's fighting Alycia Baumgardener. She has a full-time job. And you shouldn't have a full-time job. Boxing should be a full-time job. You got to come to work with your black eye and a busted nose, and it's just not fair. You shouldn't have to worry about that. People looking at you. She's already in French, but, good luck to her. But anyway, folks, like I said, I'm about to head out. I got some stuff I got to do, and I do appreciate y'all listening to me and just talking out my butt. So anyway, but like I said, this is a fight that possibly could happen in the future. Alycia Baumgardener versus Serrano, and I think it could happen. Just about time, money, and where they're going to put it at. It's a possibility. Anyway, it's been always George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Boxing Talk. Don't subscribe. I'm out.